everybody, and welcome to week 2 of the Free Science Workshop Science Bags. This week, we're looking at foldoscopes, flat, foldable microscopes that fit in this handy zippy pouch. So in your bag, you should have an instruction sheet, a pouch full of foldoscope bits, and a couple extra Q-tips for cleaning your lenses and collecting samples. In your foldscope pouch, you'll find a couple other pieces as well. There's an ID card for microorganisms, a quality control inspection piece, 3 magnetic couplings and a lens, which might be magneted to one of your couplings. You might need to pull that off of there. A pouch full of stickers, and in it we'll have some clear stickers for making slides, which are a little bit hard to see. We want to try not to lose those. A fun sticker, some clear ring stickers with white paper labels, and a little registration sticker. And that'll help you register online if you want to see what other people are doing with their foldscopes. Also inside, you'll find another little Q-tip for cleaning your lens, paper instructions if you choose not to follow along with this video, and of course your foldscope, which should be all connected in one piece on your sort of papery fold-out bit. Now to start assembling, this might look like a lot, but realistically, if we take it one piece at a time, it shouldn't be too bad. Now I'm going to recommend starting with this long, skinny piece, because this is the piece that is most likely to accidentally tear if we're being a little too rough or trying to go a little bit too fast. You might notice that it's lopsided, and that is on purpose. Taking a close look, you'll see some dotted lines. Please do not cut or tear those. We're going to be folding on every dotted line and taking out these little white inside bits, so of course our light can pass through. As you punch out the rest of your pieces, you'll find some paper slides. Those are the rectangles that either have 2 little windows cut out of them or a couple little dots if you're using them as micro well slides. And you should have 3 yellow on one side, blue on the other pieces that we're going to be folding together to make the body of the microscope. 1. Be careful with the tabs here, 2. And 3. Making sure to punch out those center bits so everything passes through. When we start assembling, I like to start with these 2 pieces because they seem to make the most sense to me to start with. Taking a look at our dotted line, we want to remember that during the foldscope process, every dotted line is going to be for folding. If you want to fold it back and forth a couple times just to make it a little wigglier and easier to move around, by all means. Now you'll also notice there are 2 little slots. We want the yellow side to be all yellow and the blue side to be all blue. So these tabs are going to curl in and poke through those little slots just like that. Blue side all blue, yellow side all yellow. And you'll see those little arrows match up too. That's where your slides are going to slide in later. We're also going to feed this, kind of like a belt buckle, through the orangey yellow piece. There we go. And that should slide freely back and forth. Blue on one side, all blue. Looking good. For our next piece, the long wonky piece with all the little dotted lines, we're going to be folding this into a ramp. It's going to help us focus when we're using our microscope. So on every single dotted line, there should be 8 total. You're going to want to crease it so that you're folding it gray side towards the gray side and leaving a little wedge there. We got 1, 2, little wedge, 3 little wedges, there we go, and 4. Now if your piece is trying to curl up or roll in on itself, don't worry, because that's exactly what we're going to do next. We're going to curl that in, gray on gray, until we get what looks like a little rectangle that is fat on one end and skinny on the other. Zoop. Yellow on one side, bluish gray on the other, fat and skinny. Bam, looking good. Our third piece is going to be a little bit trickier because this is where the magnetic couplers and the lens are going to go. If we take a look at the spot where they will go, you might notice that there are a few dots along one edge, silver stripes on one side, and black stripes on the other. This works out pretty well, because on our coupling, there are some little holes on the edge, black plastic covering on one side, and a silver magnet on the other. If we match the silver stripes to the silver magnet, and the black stripes, the black plastic covering, we'll know that our coupling is in the right way. For our first section, the light blue top, we notice that there are some silver stripes, so we're going to want our coupling silver side up, with our little hole edge lined up with the little hole edge printed on the fold scope. I'll slide right into the slot like that, click into place, hopefully. There we go. And you can tuck those little two back corners in too to stop it from sliding out. 1 and 2. Once you've got that one in, you're going to want to do exactly the same thing for your other side, making sure you match up the silver stripes with the silver magnet and the black stripes with the black magnet. Now this side we want to start black side up, sliding into where the holes are, popping in the corners just like that. Excellent. Once you've got your couplings all attached, we want to make sure that none of this red shows by folding over that flap and tucking in those 3 little tabs. Solid. You might notice that there is a third magnetic coupling included in your kit, and we'll get to this one later if you decide you want to try and attach your fold scope to a smartphone for clearer pictures. For now though, let's take a look at the lens. It looks pretty similar to the coupling in that there's the black plastic side and the shiny metal side. If we've assembled everything correctly so far, it should just snap right on. But in order to make sure we don't lose one of the most important pieces of our microscope, you'll want to utilize that sheet of clear circular stickers in order to make sure that nothing can accidentally come detached. And these stickers can be a little bit of a pain in the butt to get off successfully. If you're not sure, just rotate around and check to make sure that the circle side is sticky. After sticking it to your coupling, you should be able to peel off the white covering and see the sticker left behind. Placing your lens, shiny silver side down, and popping it into place. Once your lens is all set, you'll want to grab that ramp that we made earlier, skinny to fat, and we're going to slide it into our fold scope, blue side up. Now it should slide pretty freely back and forth, and if you're worried about it sliding out, there are 2 little tabs to fold up and help stop that from happening. Zoop. Nice. When it's time to put all 3 pieces together, you want to stack them up with the lens piece on top and the slidey back bit behind. After flipping them over, you'll notice some more red bits on the tabs, and we want to flip those through, making sure none of the red pieces are showing, and locking it into place with our lens piece. Should look a little something like that, and slide around pretty freely up, down, back, and forth. If you want to finish folding the rest of your creases, so your second coupling can snap to your lens, highly recommend doing that now as well. Woo! You did it! You built a microscope! Give yourself a high five! Wash your hands! Go hydrate! Because now it's time to look at stuff. Now that your fold scope is ready to go, we want to make ourselves a slide so we can look at stuff. Most of your slides are going to start with this space right here, the 2 big windows. You're also going to want to locate your sticker sheet, the clear one, which is hard to find sometimes, but it should have these little oval / rectangle stickers. And of course you're going to need something to look at. I'm going to recommend something that's relatively flat, maybe the light can pass through it pretty easily and isn't too big. I've got a leaf. So we start by trying to peel one of these stickers off, which, good luck, I believe in you. Thankfully for the video, this one came off really, really easily. You can see it right there. And we're going to want to stick it over the windows so that A, it stays attached to the slide, and B, one of the windows now has a sticky side. There we go. You can see the flat attached side right there, and our other side has the sticky exposed part of the sticker. the sticky part of the sticker. And on the sticky part of the sticker, you're going to want to take your sample. Again, we've got a leaf here, but fibers from a fluffy hat, or maybe a little piece of paper, or some dirt off the floor, all good options. You want to have more than one of these paper slides, and preferably at least one that is still unused. The windows are open, the windows are blank. We're going to need this to keep our slides spaced out far enough away from the lens. Depending on where you get your information, there are a couple different options on how best to stack your slides. To be honest, we had to try a couple different ways. Sometimes with one on top, sometimes with 2 blank slides on top, sometimes with a couple blank slides underneath. One of the important parts of science is just trying something, and if it doesn't work, trying something else. However you're trying to space out your slides, they're all going to go into our Foldscope the same way, into those little flaps we mentioned earlier. Taking a look where those arrows point, that's exactly where the side of your slide is going to slip under there. Starting with the side that doesn't have your sample, you want to wedge it in so it pops in between the arrows and out the other side. It might take a little bit of wiggling if this is your first slide or two to get them to fit just exactly right. After you've got one side, go ahead and flip it over and see if you can wiggle the second side in until it's nice and flat. In order to make sure our sample stays flat, the back of the Foldscope should flip up and that magnetic coupler should magnet to itself, making sure you have one complete package ready to go. Once you're locked in and ready to go, you might need to make a few adjustments with your Foldscope to get your sample exactly where you need it. Whether you need to move your scope up and down or left and right in order to make sure your sample is behind the lens, or slide that ramp we built to bring the lens closer to or further away from your sample. Give it a shot and see what you can see. For a little bit of trial and error, hopefully you've got the hang of it. And once you've got something pretty well in focus, in this case, we've got a plant sample, you might give a different technique a shot. For this example, I have my cell phone taken out of its case and put in camera mode. If we get the lens of our camera lined up perfectly with the lens of our already focused Foldscope, we should be able to see on the screen what you can see with your eye when you're looking through it. Check out those plant cells. Now I will admit I tried a couple times to get it to take a picture. I did have to adjust my settings to make sure it didn't flash too much or try and take it in portrait mode. After a little bit of messing around, aka, doing science, we did finally get some pretty sweet images. Once you've got the hang of yours, remember that ID sticker in your sticker bag? There's a spot to stick it to your Foldscope, and this is actually your membership code to the Foldscope online hub called Microscope, where kids and adults from all over the world share the things that they found with theirs. If you'd like to upload something you found to their website, or send some of your cool discoveries to us, please do. We want to keep sharing science as much as we can, taking a closer look at the world we live in, and making sure we always stay curious. From your friends here at the Free Science Workshop, we hope everything is well, and wash your hands. Please, wash your hands!